Welcome to the Crypto Sphere. This is Cryptogenic coming at you. Today is Thursday, June 16th at 7:30 a.m. here in hot Northern California. I wish I could say the crypto market was as hot as the weather is, but I cannot say that. We've got some stuff to look at. I'm looking at this monthly chart right now. I haven't pulled up the monthly chart in a minute. And there's a couple of things that I'd like to bring to your attention. We're going to talk about the monthly chart. We're going to talk about Bitcoin dominance versus the altcoin chart. We're going to talk about Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy. And if I have time, I'm going to take a look at what's going on in the stock market and see if we can find some correlations with the crypto market. So let's jump right in. This is the monthly chart. Now, if you just look at the price, for instance, if we just zoom in on the price, all is well. The bull structure of this market is intact. We can come all the way down and touch this line here, basically at 15,359, and still be in this bullish trend. All right? We'd still be on track to hit these higher highs in time. All right? Maybe to be a little bit more precise. Yeah, it's just about $16,000 if we come and touch this line. At times we tried to break beneath it, but pretty much we've used this line as support. This is March 2020. We just came down and touched the line, and now we could be coming back down to touch the line again. Only time will tell. But this is what's concerning to me. If you look at the price, all is well, but if you look at the RSI, we're registering an all-time low in the RSI for Bitcoin. The RSI has never been this low. We've broken down beneath. Literally, we've made a lower high in the RSI. So if you look here, this line of support held, but we're beneath it. It was a slightly lower high here too, actually. Slightly lower low. Lower low. We're now making a lower low in the RSI on the monthly chart, and that does concern me because if we've broken out of the trend, if we've broken down from the trend in the RSI, the next step is to break down from the trend in the price. So if we break down from this macro trend in the price, what does that mean for Bitcoin? It means we're going to have to see a new trend. I want us to understand that we've been in this trend since 2013 and even earlier, really. I mean, this trend goes all the way back to March of 2013. So we've been in this trend for 9 years. The question is, will we remain in the trend or will we break down from the trend? And the answer to that question is only time will tell. So we're watching this to see what happens. All right. Hopefully we stay in the trend and we just bounce from there and keep moving up, but we shall see. Taking a look at this chart again, as we can see, we've broken down from the 200-week EMA, the 200-week moving average. We are below it for the first time. If we close beneath that, that will be the first time, well, minus this time where we were barely below it. But this is really only the second time in Bitcoin's history that it's actually been beneath the 200-week moving average. As I said before, the 300-week moving average is the next support. And as we see back in March of 2020, we came down and we tested the 300-week moving average, but we've never touched the 300-week moving average. Are we going to repeat this piece of history, or are we going to bounce at the previous all-time high at 20,000 and move up from there? We haven't touched it yet, but only time will tell. But once again, on the weekly, we're registering an all-time low in the RSI. The RSI on the weekly has never been this low for Bitcoin. And so once again, we've broken down from a long-term trend that goes all the way back to 2015. So that means that we're kind of in uncharted territory, folks. And we just have to see how this plays out. Now, this is interesting. This is the Bitcoin dominance chart. And as I noted, I've been looking at this chart for a couple months now, and we've been moving in this range. We've hit the top of this range, and we've gotten rejected as expected because the RSI came all the way up to the overbought position. And as we noted, we've been making lower highs in the RSI here. I don't know what happened there. And so what we expected was to get rejected at this line. And sure enough, we did. So here's what I want you to note. Look at this Bitcoin dominance chart. Where's the RSI? The RSI went up to the overbought position and got rejected. Now take a look at this altcoin market chart. Where's the RSI? The RSI has gone all the way down into the oversold position. So right now, the RSI on the altcoin market is oversold. The RSI on Bitcoin dominance just got rejected from the overbought position. What does that tell you? Well, it's counterintuitive, isn't it? Because my intuition says low is bad and high is good. But in actuality, in reality, high means you're about to break down. Low means you're about to break out. That is, the lower you are, the closer you are to the next breakout. The higher you are, the closer you are to the next breakdown. And so as I've been expecting, I believe that Bitcoin dominance is going to break down. I know some people believe it's going to increase. I think it's definitely going to come back and retest this line at about 40%. But I think there's a good chance that it breaks down from there and comes down to test this region between 32 and 35%. Now, what does that mean? Well, that will simply mean that for the short term, for the time being, it will be safer to be in the alts than it will be to be in Bitcoin. Now, remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is simply what I see, what I think. Take it or leave it. I'm not telling you to buy, not to buy, to be in the alts, not to be in the alts. That's just what I see. All right, let's change channels for a moment. I want to talk about Michael Saylor, MicroStrategies. The question is, there's been a lot of talk about MicroStrategy getting margin called. MicroStrategy did not get margin called. So first of all, the thing to remember is that MicroStrategy owns 130,000 Bitcoin. Of those 130,000 Bitcoin, 95,000 of them are unencumbered. What does that mean? That means that they took 35,000 Bitcoin, roughly 25% of their holdings, and leveraged them. And it was a 2x leverage. What that means is they basically borrowed another 35 Bitcoin so that if it went up from where they leveraged it, they would make money. But if it went down, they lose money. Apparently, they leveraged it at about $42,000, which means that their liquidation point would be about $21,000. And so everybody was talking about, if Bitcoin hits $21,000, MicroStrategy is going to get margin called. They're going to get liquidated. They're going to lose 35,000 Bitcoin. Well, Michael Saylor basically explains that that is not the case, that all they have to do is take some more of their unencumbered Bitcoin and add it to their leveraged position. For instance, if they add another 35,000 Bitcoin to their leveraged position, their liquidation point would decrease all the way down to about $11,000. Basically, they would buy themselves more bandwidth. And as long as Bitcoin does not break beneath $11,000, they would not get liquidated. But however, even if Bitcoin went all the way down to $11,000, they could add the final remaining 30,000 Bitcoin to their leveraged position, and that would decrease their liquidation point all the way down to probably somewhere around $6,000, something like that. So there's almost no danger of MicroStrategy being margin called or liquidated. In fact, what will probably happen, and Michael Saylor just said very clearly, when we got into Bitcoin, we made provision for volatility. We knew it would be volatile, and we have a structure that can handle this volatility. We understand that this is what Bitcoin does. So what I would imagine is if Bitcoin went all the way down to $11,000, let's say, MicroStrategy would dump a bunch more money in and simply buy a bunch more Bitcoin. I think Tesla would do the same thing. The difference between Tesla and MicroStrategy is that Tesla has not leveraged any of its Bitcoin. It's just holding. And so I think Tesla, MicroStrategy, I think these companies are going to start buying up a bunch more Bitcoin. I don't know why they haven't done it already. The only thing that the fact that they have not done it already seems to indicate to me is that they are expecting a bigger downside, meaning if the institutional money is not flowing into Bitcoin, it means the institutional money is waiting. The fact that we're not seeing big green candles over here means that the institutional money is expecting more to the downside, and they're waiting for that downside to come so that they can buy the crap out of it. So if we do come down here and test the 300-week moving average, I would expect institutional money is waiting down there. That's my perspective. That's my theory. We'll see how that plays out. All right. I think in tomorrow's video, I'm going to take a look at the stock market. We'll look at the NASDAQ. We'll look at the Dow Jones Industrial. We'll look at the S&P 500. And we'll try to get a feel for what's happening in the stock market and what I expect to happen next in the stock market and how the stock market and the crypto market correlate with one another, at least in this season. But for today, that's all I got for you. This video is made possible by the members of my Patreon community at patreon.com/cryptogenic. I'd like to thank each and every one of you. Also, remember, this is not financial advice. I said that already. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment. And above all, make it your aim to sleep in peace, wake in joy, walk in love. This is Cryptogenic, signing out.